Is it just me, or is staying in on certain overly hyped romantic holidays becoming the new norm?
I hate Valentine's Day.
It's a despicable holiday.
It sucks.
Forget everything you thought you knew about cooking pork chops. What if I showed you the keys to a golden brown crust and a juicy chop every time? And then I'm taking it even further with a brandy caper sauce, as well as making two sides to enjoy alongside this delicious chop: velvety garlic mashed potatoes and a steakhouse classic, creamed spinach. Welcome into Kitchen Serious. Let's get into it. I won't bury the lead here. The secret to cooking juicy pork or chicken is brining. Not only does it tenderize and enhance flavor, it also maximizes moisture retention during cooking. So I'm making a quick brine to soak my chops in for about 3 hours. While that's brining, I can work on the potatoes. Just curious, am I the only one who peels their potatoes towards themselves? Comment down below if you're an away or a towards peeler, because I feel like I'm in the vast minority. Anyway, I'll get these potatoes peeled and into their own water bowl to soak while the pork chops brine. Soaking the potatoes first will actually pull out starches that can make potatoes gummy, so if your schedule allows, try doing this before boiling them. After a couple hours, you can see that the potato water's cloudy from all the starches, so that's a good sign. Into a pot with fresh water and as much garlic as you like. I've got around 6 or 7 cloves here. Cooking the garlic with the potatoes will mellow out the flavor as well as infuse some of the water. These will sit at a heavy simmer until fork tender, about 20 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to melt 5 tablespoons butter alongside a half a cup of milk. This will eventually be incorporated into the potatoes. Adding a hot mixture emulsifies perfectly into the potatoes, creating a really smooth texture. After I give these a thorough drain, I pass on the traditional masher and go for the pastry cutter. This does a great job at getting just the right consistency, because I do like a little texture in my potatoes. But if you want to whip out the mixer, feel free. It's best to combine your add-ins first and then salting last. I've learned this the hard way, and trust me, you can't take salt out of mashed potatoes.
Believe me, I've tried.
After the milk and butter, I'm now adding a quarter cup of sour cream and a quarter cup of Parmesan. Now I'll taste and add salt until they're where they need to be. Look at this velvety goodness, guys. The other great thing about mashed potatoes is that once you throw a lid on the pot, they hold their heat very well. So now I can move on to the creamed spinach. In a medium pot, I'm throwing in 2 tablespoons of butter along with a tablespoon of diced shallot. I'll be using these here as well as the sauce for the pork chops. They're a classic ingredient that lands somewhere between an onion and garlic, and most of the time you won't even tear up while you're dicing them.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Once the shallots soften, I'll add 2 tablespoons of flour to make a roux. Give it around a minute or so to cook and then add a cup of milk. The flour will do its thing and soon you'll have a nice, thick sauce ready for your favorite melty cheese. I've got a cup of Oaxacan cheese for mine, but Swiss or Gruyere are also great choices. To this, I'm going to add a dash of nutmeg and a dash of cayenne. Don't worry about this being too thick, since adding in fresh spinach will also be adding in a lot of water. You'd be surprised how much fresh spinach cooks down. This was probably 6 cups of loosely packed baby spinach here. Like the potatoes, this also holds really well once you cover it. While this hangs out, let's get to the main event. Most thinner chops will actually cup during cooking because the sides will contract as they cook, making it really hard to get a uniform sear on them. You can avoid this by making a couple slits on the sides. Now you're ready for a light dredge in my secret chop mixture. Shh, don't tell anyone. I have half a cup of flour, half a cup of cornstarch, a tablespoon of my 50-50 garlic and onion powder blend, a teaspoon of paprika, a dash of cayenne, and wait for it, a dash of cinnamon. This adds a subtle, well-rounded flavor. This will give these chops a massive flavor boost while also creating an incredible crust. For searing, stainless steel or cast iron is my go-to. I'm going to preheat the oven to 400 while the pan comes up to temperature. 9 times out of 10, the biggest issue I see on message boards are people burning their meat instead of searing it. The optimal temperature range for searing is between 300 and 350 degrees. Once you exceed 400, you're looking at burning instead of searing. Not everyone has a surface thermometer like this one, but this gives you an idea of how quickly a stainless steel pan can come up to temperature. Good thing there's some really easy things to look for once you add your oil to the pan. If the oil smokes right away, it's too hot and definitely over the 400 degree threshold where things burn. You want your oil to get viscous and flow like water, so if it seems thick and streaky, give it a minute to heat up. With that out of the way, in go the chops, which leads to the second most important law of searing.
Okay. Do not touch it.
Don't touch
me.
me.
Do not touch it.
Don't touch me.
Leave it alone and let the heat do the work. After a minute or so, you can give the meat a very light test to see if it's released yet. It will release when it's ready to check. Don't force it. Once you get a beautiful crust on one side, repeat on the other. If your chops are on the thinner side, this might be all the heat you need to hit the desired temperature of 140. But if they're thick cut, chances are you'll need a few minutes in the oven after you've seared both sides. And like any other protein, once it's off the heat, give it 10 minutes or so to rest. Which works out great because now we'll build the mouth-watering pan sauce. In goes a pat of butter along with a quarter cup of shallot, some chopped fresh thyme, a good tablespoon of capers. You can't go wrong with a shot or two of brandy. I'm going to cook this for about a minute and add 3/4 cup of heavy cream and a touch of Dijon. Simmer and reduce until the sauce can coat the back of the spoon. If you're wondering if this tastes as good as it looks, yes, that perfectly seared pork chop, juicy, the garlic mashed potatoes, and the creamy, cheesy spinach. This is one of those meals that you'll be happy to have at home and not spend a fortune going out. Thanks for hanging out in Kitchen Serious, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.